6, local Las Vegas.
Hurricane Michael has hit the southern United States. Huge waves crashed into boats at Destin Harbor in Florida earlier today.
And rain is also pummeling the Gulf Coast, sending floodwaters rushing into neighborhoods. In Apalachicola, Florida, you can barely see streets.
And the damage it's left behind, you probably can't tell, but this used to be a boathouse completely torn apart by the storm's harsh winds and rains.
Now, the storm has been downgraded to a Category 1 hurricane, but forecasters are warning this is just the beginning.
Heavy rains and the winds will stick around for the next few days. Steve Harrigan with the latest from Macon, Georgia.
Jaw-dropping images of destruction follow Hurricane Michael's landfall on the Florida Panhandle. Some wind gusts reached 155 miles per hour.
Hurricane Michael is the worst storm that the Florida Panhandle has ever seen. We're turning 100% of our focus on search and rescue and recovery.
Officials warned of a storm surge that could reach 14 feet in some areas.
The thing that people, I think, don't realize is the storm surge, whether it's 6 feet or 14 feet, it's all deadly.
One resident of Mexico Beach, Florida, where the storm's eye wall made landfall, said she didn't think it would be this bad.
Devastation. This is total devastation. I mean, my brother also has a house on the beach that's gone. I mean, there's nothing left of it.
Hundreds of thousands of customers are without power. Officials say it may not be restored for days, possibly weeks. President Trump received a briefing on the storm by FEMA.
I had a long talk with Rick Scott, Governor Scott of Florida. Very well coordinated with all of the states.
Millions of people across 6 states are under hurricane warnings and watches as the storm is expected to blow over Georgia and the Carolinas in the next few days.
So I know we were talking about how it's been downgraded to a Category 1. Now we're talking about the storm surge and just all that rain that's going to be hitting Georgia, the Carolinas, all over there.
A lot of moving parts of this very dangerous storm. Let's get on over to Sam now with an update on where we stand with this storm.
Yeah, John and Cindy, the cleanup along the Gulf Coast, especially the Florida Panhandle, where Michael made landfall earlier today. The cleanup's going to continue for the next several weeks. Let's take you to the past 12 hours on the satellite. Look at the well-defined eye of Michael. I paused it at 10:30 a.m. our time. That's when it made landfall just southeast of Panama City, right around Mexico Beach, Florida. That's where some of the strongest wind was and highest storm surge as it made its way onshore. You can tell it's weakened, the eye not as defined. You cut off the warmer waters of the Gulf of Mexico as it moves over land, and these hurricanes do weaken. That's very typical, but it's still bringing lots of rain around Georgia. It's going to continue its track up into the Carolinas over the coming days, so it will weaken to a tropical storm, but as it does cut its way on through Georgia and the Carolinas, still some hefty rainfall. You see those colors of orange and yellow. That's rainfall in excess of 3 inches. Around the Raleigh area, we could see some areas seeing 6+ inches. So still not done with Michael just yet. Back here at home, much calmer day, 77, made it up to 78 degrees today. But tomorrow we have the opportunity for a few raindrops. I'm going to pinpoint the timing of some scattered showers for us here in the Las Vegas Valley. And we actually have a tropical storm named Sergio way out in the Pacific, but Sergio is moving our direction. I'm going to show you where the rain from Sergio will be focused this weekend. That's all coming up in your full 7-day forecast in less than 15 minutes. John and Cindy.
All right, Sam, thank you.
A car accident turned deadly this morning after a Metro police officer shot and killed a man suspected of driving under the influence.
It happened near Rainbow and Blue Diamond, and that's where Fox 5's Shanae Amara is live now to walk us through what happened out there. Shanae?
Yeah, John, Cindy. Well, as you can see, a lot of people drive on this stretch of Rainbow Boulevard, but it was actually shut down for half of the day because of this incident. Now, investigators tell me 2 officers were involved, and they killed that man after he reached for his gun and shot at them first.
We were scared because we didn't know what's going on.
That's Rolly Zabo. We spoke on the phone because he's now home on the other side of police tape, and it wasn't easy getting there.
It's taped off and there's cops everywhere and cameras and a drone flying in the air. The officer didn't tell, like, if it's an active shooter or, like, what's going on.
It wasn't active, but it was deadly. He got a police escort through this shooting scene that police say started as a car accident their officers were called to. That's when they noticed a man acting strange.
They requested that he complete field sobriety tests, at which time he refused.
But witnesses say they saw him run into a bush in the desert after the crash and come back before police got there. They didn't know why, but when police tried to arrest him, it all came full circle.
He ran to that bush, grabbed the firearm, pointed it at our officers, firing one round, at which time they returned fire.
A scenario no one here expected to start from a fender bender and end with someone's life.
The drunk person didn't think clearly that this could have been resolved the easier way, saying in the quotes, you know, like just have a DUI, you didn't have to die just because you were drunk.
Now, we still don't know the identity of that man or what he may have been under the influence of, whether it be drugs or alcohol, but we are expected to find all of that out within 72 hours. Reporting live from Amara, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
Police are investigating a deadly crash that happened near Sun City in Lake Mead this morning.
A black sedan was traveling westbound, and a dark gray SUV type vehicle was traveling eastbound. The SUV attempted to turn left to go northbound on Sun City from eastbound Lake Mead, and it appears at this point that it was in the pathway of the black sedan.
Police say a 70-year-old man was driving the sedan. He was rushed to UMC, where he later died. Metro is still trying to figure out which car caused the crash, but officers say one of the cars may have sped through a red light. That intersection is going to remain closed as police continue their investigation.
Today, a Valley fire station came tumbling down. A flag ceremony was held at Fire Station 3 this morning. The 38-year-old building was scheduled to be demolished. Fire officials tell us that this building needed a lot of repairs. The station will close this month, and staff will be moved into a temporary station while their building is under construction. The new fire station is going to be bigger and have updated technology and also better security. Construction is expected to start this December. The building will reopen in 2020.
The city of Las Vegas is partnering with the FBI to combat the opioid epidemic. As you're driving, you may notice some new billboards popping up around the valley. They're all part of the new opioid awareness campaign. The FBI is specifically looking to target the drug fentanyl, which is popping up more and more throughout the country. And the FBI says it's also working to stop doctors from overprescribing.
We're also partnering up with those regulatory agencies that help educate doctors on the appropriateness of the dispensing of opioids. Because there are legitimate uses, but it must be very carefully managed and very carefully prescribed.
These types of campaigns have been successful here in the Valley, so the FBI is hoping to make some real progress.
Lawyers for soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo say the sexual assault claims against him are completely fabricated. Ronaldo's legal team says the encounter between Ronaldo and Catherine Mayorga was consensual. A German publication is claiming there are documents that prove Mayorga's assault claims, but Ronaldo's lawyers say those documents were doctored before they were published.
A hospital in Mesquite says its doctors will no longer deliver babies. The change was made at the beginning of the month. Mesa View Regional Hospital says the number of births in the area have been decreasing in recent years, so they've decided to get rid of delivery and nursing services. But the hospital says it will still provide other care like gynecological services as well as prenatal and postpartum care. Patients who are already scheduled for delivery will be contacted.
20 people died after a limo crashed in New York this past weekend.
Investigators say the limousine was not up to code when it crashed. Lawyers for the limousine